Hello, hello. Wait, let me get this on. Hey, Muffin Top. You're such a great mod. Get you all your emails. You do an amazing job. Anyone who wants to know, she does an amazing job. Welcome in to WCIA Network. We have a great show today. I'm going to be reviewing information from starting way back, especially the information and photos that I'm going to be using today. Many people have never seen them because they were taken down. Whoops. Like just a few months after Summer Moon Wells' case started. Hold on. Okay. Okay, sorry guys. My dog is just so quiet. It's just very unusual. So very, very quiet. You good? Hey. You good, buddy? Okay. All right. Welcome. Welcome in, Bernadette. Of course, I said Muffin Top. Hi, Rumple Long here, Liz. Thank you guys for the incredible emails these last couple days. You're going to see that I do read them, and they're great. You guys are engaged. You're learning. You understand the story, which brings justice to the children by recognizing the story the way that I see it to be true, right? That doesn't necessarily mean it's true for everyone who looks at this information. Hi, Julia. Everyone has a story to tell. I'm telling the story the best to my capabilities, to what I believe is to be the truth. And to those that are new, hi, I'm Lori. And I channel information just the way that it comes out of my mouth. That's it. Just the way that it's told to me, and the way that I hear it, and the way that I speak it is the only thing that makes sense to me. Is it is through spirit, and the information that I get is absolutely incredible. It's intense. It's sad. Many times I don't understand it until I start to present it to you guys. Here on YouTube, it has become my safe haven place. And you guys at WCAA Network subscribers have built that for me. You guys have built that for me. I wouldn't be able to do it without you, because it seems to work, and the platform works for my purpose of whatever I'm doing here. And I believe the purpose is to bring justice to the children and to help give information that will find these tunnels, find these underground areas, find enough information that will bring justice and bring the children home. That's what I'm doing here. I'm not here for any other reason. As I continue, it's been now a little over 2 years. It's definitely increased my capability and my abilities to hear, see, smell, understand where and what these kids are going through. I use all my senses to a chill in the air to mud on the ground, if they're in hot heat, or if they're in moist like greenery, if they're in the water, if they're clothed, not clothed, stuff like that is what I have learned through Summer Moonwell's Missing Children. I could tell you about it. So knowing that these kids are placed in water, knowing that the information they're given to me, I could then do my best to show you images that relate to the information they give me. I'm going over this because I know there are new listeners and new subscribers, and many times I don't say, oh, I'm doing a channel right now, I'm channeling. Anything that comes through, I don't do the research. I research into something as someone sends me information. And if I look at a photo, immediately I will know if it's going to give me some information. I don't go searching for it. You guys are the best. And then I just go like boom, like that. Like if a name is put out there, I'm like, yep, I got to go look right now at what the hell's going on. Or I don't pay attention to it and I don't even remember I heard it. I only hold on to information that is true to the children's story. And today is going to be all about the Summer Moonwell's Missing Children, which includes the cases that I have gone through over the 600 plus videos. It's a lot of videos to understand. That is why I try to explain what's going on in the beginning. So when I put photos up like this photo to the right, I got month 1, 2021. And my story that I told back in 2021, before any other information came out, is still the same story today. So I'm learning to trust my own instincts and to trust my own, I guess, psychic ability, because it's hard for me to even understand myself and to even accept it. It's just, that's just what it is. It's not a part of me. I live out loud on the streets, out with my friends. I don't do that. Many people just don't even know that I have this channel. It's uncomfortable for them, and maybe that's because it's uncomfortable for me. So here I have found that vehicle to feel comfort, to be able to do whatever comes forward, and it proves to be correct, because I'm going to be bringing you photos from day 1 and connect them to photos to today, to all the other cases, and they prove to be the same story. The only way that makes sense to me is that the information that I'm being given is true and it's not changing. That's all I could go by, you guys. I can't go by anything else. I can't go by any of the news or the other stations, because they're all confused. How I see it. They don't say they're confused, but there's too much confusion within the YouTube community, and the confusion comes from the creators. The creators are the ones that are doing that, and I don't know why. I don't know why they are. Really, I shouldn't say that. I don't know why they're not saying anything or accepting it, or acknowledging what's going on here. Anything. Nothing. I have done this for over 2 years now, and between the interview room, Ziggy, Molly Golightly, Bullhorn Betty, Ryan Upchurch. Man, there's a lot of creators that I have been asking to look this way, because no matter which way anyone is looking, it's not working. It's not. They don't have any answers. They don't. So you might as well do something different. If you keep doing it the way you've been doing it, you're going to get the same result. Always do what you've always done. You're going to get what you've always got. I live by that. So do it differently if you're getting no result. That means you need to do it differently. You might as well try and look at the information that I have over here. I have information here that I believe could lead to tunnels. I believe could lead to the dark areas. Because these are called little nuggets. I call them nuggets. They're breadcrumbs. That's all they are. They're breadcrumbs of information, just like any other law enforcement would get information, told to them on the phone. It's the same thing. I don't have physical things to hold on to hand over to them. I have what I know to be true, and that's it. And just going by the over 2 years of information that that is all the same, I'm not really quite sure what else they could go by. I mean, I'm going to be showing you the same scuba divers that I talked about 2 years ago. This is supposed to be Hunter. That's not Hunter. In two plus years ago, I would have creators being like, oh my God, that totally is what she's talking about. Well, I know what I'm talking about, because that's not him. Unless we don't know the Hunter that's the real Hunter. Right? That's what the thing is I have the only thing I have is myself and what I have put out there since June 16th. Because it came to me in April. I didn't ask for it. I've never done this before. I didn't even know how to set up a YouTube channel in the beginning. I've never done this. I wasn't in true crime, on the YouTube. I did it. I don't know how I even figured out to do that. But the story was written down before Summer went missing. And now I have books filled of information that is to this day true to how I have been seeing it. And there is no other explanation to myself other than I know the abilities that I've had my whole life, because it's fourth generation. If my family wants to accept it or not, it's fourth generation. So if I put all my pieces together, that's what happened. That's what happened. And I don't even know how else to say it. That's what happened. And here I am. And it hasn't stopped coming through. If it stopped coming through, I wouldn't be talking to you guys. Right? So this is what we're doing today. I'm going over very important information that has proved to be true on my channel since June 16th, 2021. And now it pulls in Gabby Petito, Harmony Montgomery, Michael Vaughn, Kylie Rodney. It pulls in cases like Lori Vallow. It pulls in those cases. The Watts kids, Serenity McKinney. I didn't know their names before. I didn't know who they were. They're part of my stories. They're all part of it. So as long as my channels are open to these children, and as long as I know full-heartedly that it's my purpose, I have committed to continue this journey. I've committed to it. And that's what I'm doing here. I'm not here to call anyone out. I'm not here to talk about other channels. I'm not here to be like, oh my God, Benny Keys has done this. Benny Keys has done nothing in my eyes, because I don't know who Benny Keys is. Benny Keys' information helps me show you the story, right? It helps me tell you the story of these children to bring justice. I've shown over and over, we don't know who any of these creators really are, because their faces aren't always the same. Benny Keys and Molly Golightly, always different. Always. And I mean, I'm not just saying different color hair. I'm saying their faces reflect differently. And that's when I started asking my subscribers to put that one, like you guys are doing in chat, because I didn't know. I'm like, oh my God. In the beginning, you guys didn't see what I saw. And I didn't know that until I was listening back to my own lives. I'm like, holy shit. And let me tell you guys something. In the beginning, when I went back over my own lives, I didn't see what I was talking about. So the story comes through as I'm watching. Like, I was looking at those pictures. I'm like, oh, what the fuck? It's not there. And I'm like, it's not there. And then I had to realize and understand that I'm giving you the story that I see within the photo. And it scared me. There's a few things that it's a little scary when you are talking about something that when you go back, it's not in the damn photo. And when I went to the Springfield Sheriff's Department and I brought a massive book of information, and they brought me into a room filled with everybody, and when he looked at me and I gave him the book, written book, and when he looked at me, it's like, you do know we don't see what you're talking, we don't see what you see. And I'll never forget that feeling. But the person who's in charge, the sheriff or deputy, whoever he was, after I sat down with these people in the room and told them the story and this, he looked right at me, and the first thing he said to me, what generation witch are you? He asked me that. This is no lie, because this is part of my story. And I looked at him and I kind of smiled. I'm like, I'm fourth generation. Like, he knew. So they must know people like me that they work with, or else he would never have asked that question. I'm like, I'm fourth generation. He pegged it from the moment I sat down in the Illinois Springfield Deputies Department. Like, I was in this room with 3 or 4 other people. And they listened. They listened very carefully. And then they told me they didn't see anything in the photos. And the funny thing is, when I brought the photos home, I couldn't see it. Like, I could only see it sometimes. And that's when I was like, what is going on? Like, are you losing your mind? Are you finding your mind? And then I realized I found myself. It isn't any other thing than living my purpose and finding myself, right? Because it's going to prove to be true. It's going to. It's the only thing that makes sense. So, on that note, everything I do and say falls under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. This is for entertainment and educational purposes only. This isn't here to tell you factual information because it has not been proven by the law. That is the only thing that proves it to be true, is when they say it's true through their own channels. Other than that, no one is guilty. Nothing is true until it's proven in the court of law, or the law in the courts. Right? That's it. I can't do that. And I don't have the right to do that. I could only do what I'm supposed to do. And that is for sure, I'm not supposed to point out who I think is behind this, who I think is guilty. I'm not supposed to say the names that come to me in a group of 4 that no one knows about. It's a very, 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 very deep, deep story. The deepest layer of the story will never be touched. It's the deepest layer that is locked up. It's locked away as if it doesn't exist, and that's so when I say things like this is channeling, because again, I don't know what's to be true. I could be so fucking wrong. I'm telling you what I see within my third eye. When I say something like that, what I see, and I'm taking my hand and you don't see it, is my hand is cupped together with my fingers, and as I'm talking, it's going down. And what I'm saying is that deepest layer, no one, by the law, whoever is protecting that layer is not to be talked about, and that deepest layer will never ever be known to be there, to be true. So since we will never in my lifetime be able to get to that very, very, very deepest layer, I know I won't see that in my lifetime, because that deepest layer is so locked down. It's locked down that no one knows it. So what I'm here to do is unpeel the layers above it as deep as I can go, so that day will come where that explodes. It will implode. It will implode. It will explode, like from the bottom up, like a volcano. Imagine what I see is a volcano just exploding. That's going to take the layers, like the rocks to fall. The rocks to fall slowly. Some will move fast, some will trickle until the volcano erupts. And the volcano will erupt because they won't be able to hold onto it any longer, because the layers will be gone. You see what I'm saying? They need those layers of protection, those layers that are doing the sex trafficking, the disgusting things on the deep web, the kids that are being sold for money and drugs. It's for the sacrifices, for human organs. All of that shit is all part of this blob. It's all together, but it's built all on one very, very, very deep, dark layer. It started from the bottom. That's my purpose, is to expose those layers so the children feel that they're getting justice. They are already passed over, these kids that I'm talking about. They're in spirit, right? So these kids in spirit don't give a hoot about the people that are guilty as much as they do about getting justice for themselves and for the future kids. Just by expressing and telling the stories and bringing light to the stories brings them justice. Because then whoever wants to choose to see it will see it. Many people are going to choose not to see it. And that's okay. That's okay. It's very scary. And once you see it and understand it, it's hard to unsee it. So I do understand and get why people don't want to go see it or think about it or know that it's true. You know, like I'm going to be going, I don't know if I'll make it tonight, to go see that movie, Sound of Freedom. And I know it's controversial, and the reason it is because I haven't seen it yet. I'm assuming it's because it's a topic that people turn it into political, or they turn it into whatever they turn it into, instead of looking at the one fact that this is happening. It's happening. So it's like unpeeling the layers, and it's uncomfortable to do it. So of course a movie like that's going to be controversial. Of course it's going to create issues and with people's conversation, because people are so terrified to look and understand what happens to our beautiful babies and the children of this world. It's really, really tough, you guys, because once you see it, it's like losing a piece of, for me, I can only say what it is for me. It's like losing a piece of what is this world about. Like, I don't understand. Then what are we all doing? So it's very, 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 very tough. So I know I'll have my opinion after I see it, but it's just part of unpeeling and knocking down that volcano. That's all. So on that note, I am going to start my PDF. And this PDF, I'm hoping, will bring me the words to show you how this is all the same. Since June 15th, for me, since April 28th of 2021. Let me close this. This photo here is supposed to be Hunter. Anyone that knows Hunter knows that this isn't. We don't know who that is, right? And this person has never been talked about. This is an example to those that are new to my channel. I showed a photo like this 2 years ago. And it was sorry, just got a text, sorry. I gave a reading that I said these kids are in the water and they're being taken by boats and they are being taken away. They're being taken away or they're being lifted out of the water. These kids are bloody. They are limp. This is like collecting the trophies. And I'm going to show you how this still proves to be true. Now, if anyone ever saw the photo that I had of the Idaho 4, Ethan has on this exact outfit. This diver's outfit, which looks like a leotard. It's a black top with straps. That happens to be something that Ethan had on. The picture that I have of him holding onto a rope on a boat in the water. Let's see this. Let me see something. I didn't pull it up because I didn't know I was gonna see. Many times I don't know I'm gonna say that, right? So it's a photo. It's a photo of him and his girlfriend laying on the couch, and he's holding his phone up. And in his phone is a picture of himself, bloody, and he has this outfit on. Correct, Rumpel. Everything I do and say is allegedly. This is for entertainment purposes, right? And for educational. So I still stay with these little boats, have something big to do with the process. And I stick to it. Here is my PDF for today. It's 129 pages. So sit back and relax. Welcome to Summer Moon Wells' Missing Children's full story. From how I see it and how it comes through me as the truth, and it has not been proven so. Way back, when I realized that these photos and these videos were falling apart, I call it, and giving the story in between the layers, is when I started grabbing these photos. And when I started grabbing them, I'm like, holy shit, this is the story I'm telling. And one of those photos happened to be this one. This photo came from a video that closed on my laptop. And when you close the video, these photos appeared. When I open the video, and I have this on one of my videos, I show it, this photo disappears. I'm like, what the heck? So I videotaped, it's in one of my videos, myself opening and closing this video so you guys could see that it was really happening. This photo is going to, within my storyboard here, prove to be the Summer Moon Wells Missing Children story. That's this one. It's telling you, let me put it this way, Candace Wells, Bly, whatever she wants to call herself, made lots of TikToks. In the beginning of Summer's case, TikToks were it. The TikTok of Summer on the swing, dancing in the rain, in the car, and then they came out with another one, the one at the water. They had another two dancing in the rain, one with her dancing, which was showing tons and tons of kids, and then one without her dancing. It just kind of set the location. After I realized that these TikToks could be used to tell my story, I realized it was almost like chapters of these children's story. So I saw the story beneath the TikToks. This fishing one, going fishing, in the beginning, people were like, they never went fishing. Remember, it was like they confused the story. Did they go fishing? Did they not go fishing? If they went fishing, they didn't have fishing poles. Did they have fishing poles? Why would they go if she didn't have her bathing suit on? Did she have her bathing suit on? Was she wet in the car? Why was there a pillow? Like all these questions. I believe that this was the story that they wanted to go from. They wanted to use, they went fishing. But I don't think they had the TikTok of the fishing was the problem. The crazy thing is they had the photos of the fishing. And they had the information as if she went fishing that day with that short cut here. When she was swimming at the swimming hole, she didn't have short hair. To me, they missed that. I believe that this fishing, which I know is a major part of these children's story, was supposed to be in the story. When I listen to people speak about these crimes, I've explained this before, there's certain words that I hear louder, or they're like, oh, okay, she went fishing. Like, I hear them differently. When Hunter was interviewed, many of these films, you guys, have been altered and been changed from the original. I'm going to show you. I have all the originals. Hunter, when he did his interview, one of his things that he said, and he used his fingers, quote, unquote, they went fishing. They were going to go fishing. Was so important in that interview, which I believe that everything the interview room did was altered and changed, but that's how I see it through my own visions. So the interview room's videos are a mess. They're a mess. And that's not up to me to figure out why, because maybe they're not a mess, is what I see them as a mess, and they show everything. Everything. And that interview is a complete disaster of a video right now. If you go back to the original, go look at the original and see what happened to it. Hunter says certain things that need to be said but I think that he was confused on what he was to say, something like that, because this fishing thing did she have fishing poles? No. Well, why would she say they were going to go fishing? They didn't even have poles with them. They couldn't get that part of the story straight. And that part of the story was very important because it's the main element. This fishing thing and this pole And these elements are main elements. The swimming hole is about them being in a bigger area of water, like off the boat. That's where something went wrong that day, you guys. Something went wrong. There was someone dropped the ball. That's when something got fucked up. And they had to go to the water hole. Now, I could say water hole, maybe they were at the tunnel. Maybe they were underground. But something went wrong. There was a step there that they had to quickly fix. I personally think someone, now I'm not saying Robin Lane, but I personally think someone like a Robin Lane fucked up. And they had to quickly congregate at the Wells house. And who congregated at the Wells house right after Summer went missing, before the police got there. This was the first story out, you guys. It's changed since then. Was Robin Lane and Dotson, David Dotson, from the church. Now, they didn't know. That's where the confusion was, because those were the small little details they didn't know what to do with. They changed the story. Because in the beginning, he was never at their house. They never met. Candace, they're not friends, blah, blah, blah. And then David Dotson's like, oh, of course I know where they live. I've been there many times. I'm like, well, you dumb motherfuckers better get your story straight. Because it was Robin Lane and David Dotson that they said came to the house right after Summer went missing. Something went wrong, really wrong. I think there was a huge fight. I think that Candace was completely beat up. And I don't think she could come out of the house until her bruises and shit were gone. Something went wrong. And this here is what happened to Summer Moon. The photo that you see here of her in the leaves is the same photo of her on the swing. That's what she really looks like next to the tree. I've shown you this picture of her in the leaves. She's not in the swing. So this photo is extremely powerful for the children to tell their story through me. And they want people to know that this is really the story. They don't know why it was fucked up. Something went really wrong. And it's not talked about. Summer Moon Wells' missing children know something went wrong because they lived through it. They had to put a fishing pole in her hand. They had to put this in there, but they never used it. They never used it. In the beginning, when Tim Mullen, I'm in Highwood right now. Wait, hold on one second. When Tim Mullen had this family, whatever he did, official family storyboard, they tried really, 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 really hard to push the narrative. Well, as they're trying to push the narrative, there's complete chaos. There was complete chaos. So They were flinging shit. The creators were flinging. They were. It was like they all came together to like clog up the pipes. Like stop the flooding. This is what was on Tim Mullen's channel. Those icons of summer. These icons of summer, I grabbed it and you could tell it was a long time ago, are the stories of all of the Summer Moon Wells missing children. These children are sacrificed what they call with a family. This is exactly how they wind up within the earth. I have shown this. That is her little head in her little box within her little buggy within the earth. This is Tim Mullen's. That's Summer. This is actually Summer's photo on what was on his site. All you had to do was blow it up. This little house here are the little houses that I've been showing. Now comes 2 years later, and I'm still showing it. Not only am I showing it, it completely matches back up to that Robert Vaughn's playbook, I'll call it, of houses within the earth. That's what they look like. This is what they are. This is Robert Vaughn's little house with little Summer. And this is the Idaho 4 within their box. Right here. These boxes are exactly what that house is, with the little box inside of it. That right there on the upper right is what I've been showing you guys from the Idaho 4. That is the same thing as if Summer Moon Wells was sitting in there. It's the same thing. Those are the houses. Those are the wheels. That little door all the way in there has an A. Let me crop it in for you. And the A represents the person. Right here. That little A, this house right here, is what's in the doorway. This is the story of the Summer Moon Wells missing children. This is the story they want exposed and talked about. I am not here to find who's doing this, because that is going to take way deeper pockets and way more powerful people than me. I'm just telling a story. And this, my guys, my gals, is Summer. This was right on Tim Mullen's official site, and I showed it back then. It's right there. The other little photo that is right next to it, all it's doing is showing you the process, right? This here is the process. Let me get this brighter. Here she is in her, what I call the cylinder. These are the steps right next to the box. That's a cylinder. The cylinder with the bloody head, I'm going to be showing you throughout this presentation. That has been placed all over Summer Moon Wells Missing Children since day one. There is no difference between the head that you see here coming out of a cylinder. Let me show you this. Then the heads that I show you in Adventures with Purpose, coming out of their motor or wherever that is. This is all they show within their screens. This is nothing more than this. What stays consistent is the body part, right? That's what stays consistent. Gabby Petito was in that same cylinder. Right there, with her head sticking out. That's her in the car. No one wants to talk about it. Gabby Petito has the same story. Sacrifice, abuse, sexual abuse, whatever they went through is so horrific, but they all went through it the same way. That is Gabby Petito, and this is what happens to the heads. That's what happens. Gabby Petito is the same thing. Same thing. Way back, I grabbed this is from one of the photos that shows very clearly pieces of the sacrifice. This child's foot has the bracelet. This child in this video was all wrapped up in the elements. And I don't know what video it's called. Let me see if it's on here. Oh, it's not on here. I should keep the names of them. This here, on her foot, let me show you that first. These are the little bracelets with the little hearts on them. This is real. In the video, I've shown it. These are in many different places on their bodies. And the reason I see it is because it hasn't changed, right? What you see up top is the spider that was on Summer Moon's head in Don Wells, which I'll show you in the next photo. What you see on the left-hand corner are that's part of the equipment that goes towards the water. This here, right here, the children know all about it. They know all about this equipment, because if they didn't, I wouldn't be able to show you. Geez, way back, maybe it was the second month, maybe it was the very beginning. Let me show you a photo. This came from Candace's videos on her Facebook. This here, I'm actually going, these are all my presentation. I'm just taking them out of order. That white thing there, it's telling me is representative of this. That this is the same thing. See, it's before they go in the water. This is Candace's video. See how there's a buggy there and it's on tracks? I showed this, people who've been following me, I showed this. When I say way back, I'm talking the first month. This is a video that no one looked at either. I'm like, okay, these kids are coming out of the ground. So I saw what I needed to see. I saw a head sticking out of a buggy. They're on tracks and they're elevated. They're coming up and they're going down. And this yellow thing was always in the videos. It's against their house. It's always in the videos. I've shown this. The kids are sitting on it eating watermelon. But that's the same as this. The reason being is because this is part of the water situation. This here is what is happening. See this clear thing? This clear thing like that, and this? That's what they wind up looking like. This is a sacrifice. This is a sacrifice. So the gifts that are given to me is I see the story through that blob of white shit. I see the story. This is the story. And this is by the water. And this is Candace's video. This here, it's the same thing. With that little heart. Now that spider is the spider I showed yesterday. Spider is part of their journey. All of these little critters that show up in these videos, the children know all about these critters. They've seen these critters. They know what it is. The buckets that everyone has been looking at from day one, plaster, it's got to do with plaster. Why are they always using plaster? Why are they always, painting and Don's running and doing, walls and whatever he's doing. These buckets are that's the main element. It's not about doing the walls. It's about moving these buckets. So I call bullshit. So when I say this stuff, I'm giving information to the authorities so they know it's not about the walls as much as it is to check out the bucket. Check out the bucket. There's a bucket inside the bucket. It's in there. This is the way it moves. Each one of these buckets are marked. I've shown you guys these buckets before when they are moving internationally. I'm like, they all have that number 5 on it. So do these. They have the same thing. So why you all see so many buckets everywhere is because imagine the buckets are the way to transport. That's what it's doing. Who's going to look inside a fucking bucket that's filled with cement? What I'm saying is, you take those buckets and you hammer them open. Smash them. Smash it open. This here is the railroad. This stuff is moving. This stuff is moving. And that there, the middle bucket has, grab it, the middle one and the one next to it, I'll show you. It has the marking on. Right there. So that's what these buckets have. They're the same thing as the suitcases had that I showed you were moving internationally. And the buckets are telling a story that it's the bucket, and what's inside the bucket is part of the transportation, and all of that needs to be looked at because these are all the elements. See what shows up? So here at WCAA Network, when the truth is spoken, other elements start to appear. I don't know if you guys see what I see, so I'm going to show you another piece of element that's showing up. This here is a major must-have element. So now I know that this is really important, because this here is a cylinder. This here is the cylinder. Right there. Okay? Everyone has one. Every victim has what we see here. And by me repeating it and telling this story, the little critters are starting to show. See? Right here is your little squirrel, and they're pretty much always the same. This is the bucket that's inside the bucket. Here's your milk jug. This is the Summer Moon Wells Missing Children story. So anytime that I speak, it seems as if, I mean, I learned about myself, you guys, as I go, and this is something that I learned. Because I remember when these photos first started changing, I was like freaking out. I'm like, okay, do they see this? Why is it changing? And I always wonder if any other people's do any of you guys have pictures that do this? Like, have you guys ever tried, looking at pictures? Like, why did mine change? Like, does anyone else's do this? Like, it's showing the story. Like, I always wonder, like, if anyone else's pictures change like mine. It's kind of crazy that it does do it. Wait. Because what it's going to show are all those little critter faces. Now, I see critter faces because the children know about the critters. They know, they make it very playful for the kids. So like the train would be like a Thomas the Choo Choo train. You know, they get like toys, they get things that they could relate to. So this is important. These buckets need to be smashed open. I mean, smashed open in order to bring justice to the children. So they need to be smashed open. This is what's going on in this room. These are heads wrapped in plastic. Now, these are movements of victims. What is always with the victim, and I've noticed this in my videos, is the knife, which I never noticed until the Idaho 4 when they brought up the knife, like the knife. This here, this particular kind of knife shows in the videos right next to the head. So that's a head and that's the knife. It's very interesting how I didn't know, I never really paid attention until the Idaho 4 kept talking about the cover to the knife. But these are heads and they're doing shit here. And this is part of their story. These faces are very familiar to the children. This is what's on the bucket, the number 5s. Now it looks like everything is disappearing. See, it gets so white. And it's going to leave like 1 or 2 elements. This is spirit at its best. Let me see something. Let me bring this whole picture up. This here, let me bring it. These buckets are changing. Wow. See what it's doing? It's like changing into a photo that doesn't even look like a photo anymore. Anytime they use a lot of white, interesting things show up. We'll go back to that at the end. So this is what happens to these kids. This is an example of Summer Moon Wells on the swing. And I have sent all this in to the law enforcement months and months ago. And I'm sure that they look at it like, you know, we don't know what the fuck you're talking about. But at this time, two plus years later, we're looking at the same information, the same white faces, the same marking on her eye, the same maroon face on the bottom of the swing, the boots, the pajamas. This here See, there's the green face, the bottom of the swing, and the child is hanging. The child's hanging. And that marking on her eye is the same marking that I showed you yesterday. I showed it on my video from yesterday. I showed it on Candace. And I showed it on, let me change the contrast so you see it, on Molly Golightly. It's the same marking. So when I'm shown markings and they repeat and repeat, there's a reason for it, right? And this is obviously a child that is in danger, big time danger. And this might as well be called Summer Moon Wells on Her Swing. Now, when they showed this guy with the swing, this is the red-haired guy that I have on my list of importance. For those who don't know, this guy's TikTok followed Kylie Rodney's bash at the party the night she went missing. Thank you, and you know who you are. You said you have a video that says Zav. I did. This is the video that says Zav. The only reason I bring it up is because Zav Girl is in the news. This dude has her letters on one of the main elements. Now, because I know that he is showing the story of Kylie, all of these pieces, I know what they are. I know what this is all about. The problem here, nothing is ever put in these videos by accident, or it's being sloppy. Nothing. This here, I'm changing the lighting a little bit. Says her name. What else would it say? This guy, to me, shows a story. Totally shows a story. I think he's the red-headed guy. And I have all of his original information. They could take that video and go super, super, super close and look at all those numbers that are coming out of the letters. There's a lot of information here. Tons of information that tell the story. He is not sitting on his swing in his room. He is sitting on the box underneath him. It's not in his room. extent. So this guy, when I first pulled him aside, this was the photo that I noticed first. He has a little critter laying with him. Now, when I call something a critter, that's because it has shown up multiple times in multiple videos. And they do represent something to the person putting these in the video, right? This little guy over here, it's laying next to him, we have seen before. This little guy. Now, to me, that's telling you, hello, you need to look over here. You need to look what's going on over here. So when I point something like this out, that's because the spirit kids are like, that's the critter. Like, these are the things I'm going to notice, because this is what they know from. They know from the little Mickey Mouses. They know from the little Cinderellas and, and the fairies. They know from the fairies for sure. They know all that. So I'm going to show you what they know. And to them, it's like, well, here we are. This is our story. Like, this, here we are. Like, come get us. And that's why sometimes when I go through my presentation, it's frustrating, because the emotion and the feelings that I get within are like, I don't understand. Like, very, like, not like childish, like, innocent. Like a very, an innocence, I feel like I feel it, like a sense of innocence. Like, I don't get it. Like, I don't understand. Like, we just showed them the fairy, and to them, that fairy is something that's with them all the time. So to them, it's like, come get us now. Like, that's us. Like, this photo is, these are all of the hearts with the white. This was in Check It TV's warehouse. Again. Come to our rescue. We're in a location like this. We're down deep under. We're down underground. We're down under. And this is the Gabby Petito photo I showed you guys. It is a shame. It is a shame that no one in the law enforcement or anyone in that kind of a powerful situation doesn't just say, oh, fuck it, let's take this and run with it and see what happens. They have nothing to lose. Nothing to lose, you guys. It's like, to me, a slam dunker. Here, I'm going to change the contrast. This here is in the first version. That doesn't even look like her. But this person is in the sacrifice. The head is connected to the bar above her head, and the elements are on her body. I don't actually feel the presence of a female. I don't feel maybe that this is even her, but these are the elements, and this person is being sacrificed. and it's in the videos. This here is Fox 13, Tampa Bay News. Really? Here's your little critter. So this is one of the main little critters that I followed. Look, it kind of looks like a Paw Patrol, but it shows up on the stick like that. Now, that there is something the kids know from, right? But that there represents the little head sticking out. That's what it does. This is in a buggy. In one of those buggies. The buggy that I wanted to find, I found it. The first time I saw that buggy, I talked about this, and I remember in my live was, again in the beginning, I'm like, that's the buggy. I'm like, it's right there. Like I tried sending it in so many times. I'm like, go get that thing on the Wells property. This is way in the beginning. And they put some sort of all those flowers there for summer, and I'm like, the buggy is there. They need to go to that tree and go check that shit out. That buggy with the 2 wheels was then on their property, like that. And it also had the clear walls with the maroon trim. Way back during the Magical Boardroom, all I talked about was these maroon metal trim, and they were, and at first I didn't realize that they were you could see in but you can't see out, and it's like plastic. It's plastic. And it connects to that little buggy with the 2 wheels. And it was on the property, but in a different location. Then I saw it at Tina's property at that marijuana place. And it was next to one of those little houses. I'm like, oh wow. Follow that element. So I kept following that element. And the buggies are these. There is no difference between any of the buggies that I have ever said between each other. They're all the same. They're tilted. They tilt, you guys, so you could tilt it in the water and out of the water. It tilts. It dumps. It dumps. It tilts. Those 2 wheels are smaller wheels. They're little wheels. They're little. But it carries the trophies. It carries the setup. It's carrying that whole setup. This setup it carries. The one to the left is from Benny Keys' backyard. I'm like, that's the setup. All I do is take a picture of it and I keep it for presentation. There is no difference between what's in his backyard and what you see at the place of sacrifice. All of this has been consistent within all of the cases. They all show it. Michael Vaughn shows it. Harmon Montgomery shows it. They all show it. Harmon Montgomery shows it loud and clear. See? These are the trophies. This is the whole entire boomerang of a sacrifice. Now this is all together. That is what is showing in Benny's backyard. Now watch this. All of that information, all of this is what winds up over here, right? That's Summer's vigil to the right. To the left is Kylie Rodney's party. If the authorities could just copy and paste all of these critters on top of each other, you will see a pattern. It is no longer odd. They all match. They match. Between all of the sacrifice information, anything that's at a fire, a painting, the beach, it's all the same. The information needs to stay the same because the elements and the critters and all that shit doesn't change. Here, I'm going to brighten this one up a little. Can't brighten it up too much because it looks funky. This one is Kylie Rodney's party. Okay. That's her bucket. That's a face in the front. That's the equipment. And the other side is Summer Moon Wells's bucket going to the fire. All of these are going to the fire, you see. Everything winds up in the fire. But what I'm showing you is they're all cookie cutters. This is from Nita's video when she went to one of the vigils. Not all the vigils had it. The one that she went to had this information. So whatever is going on between these videos is the same. And what that is nothing more than this here. It's the same situation. You might as well call that Summer Moon Wells. Yeah, it's the green face. The green face is on the bottom. The green face usually is on the bottom or the top. Here, I'll brighten it up so you see the green face a little better. I'm going to brighten this, you guys, just so the green face shows. Whoops. Okay. It's going to look a little funky, but you'll be able to see, like, different elements. And the fishies on top. See the fish on top? You're welcome. See the fish on top? And that's her white bucket. So that's like Summer Wells in her bucket. All done. She has her fishy with her. She has the green face with her. Just like this one. And this is her vigil. It's this. That's what it is. This one has the green face on the bottom. You just can't see it. This is what this is. Yeah, doesn't change. This is Summer Moon Wells' vigil. This is also from the video at her vigil. You guys understand that this comes from Nita's video at the vigil. So understand that you are looking here to Summer Moon Wells' vigil. All it is the ceremony that they did to get rid of Summer Moon Wells. Her buggy is in the middle. This here is Summer Moon's sacrifice. That's the buggy. I don't know who else is there. This is a sacrifice. And they always have those little light up flying shitty things all over. But see the green head on the top? Nita's world is the one whose video it is. It's not deep faked in there. Now, this is exactly the same thing that they show to the left. So when I say this all, I mean, this isn't taking place in the middle of a park, right? I mean, that would be ridiculous. You're not going to go to a park and see this happening. It takes place underground in a very sacred place. And that sacred place is that place that I keep showing you guys. So whatever is going on to the right is basically what's going on in the left. So what I'm doing here is I'm showing you apples to apples to tighten up the story. I'm tightening it up. I'm tightening it up and trying to get it to the actual photo, you know. So instead, I would be like, this is what they're doing, but they're doing it underground. They're doing it not outside in this open space. They're doing it in a space like you see in the left. A sacred space. It's not for everyone to see, right? That's what they did with the Idaho 4. They were underground with the flamethrower. The flamethrower was underground in a tunnel. He was in a tunnel showing the sacrifices. See? See the green face? This is all sacrifice. There are 4 people here. And the front one's on fire. That is the buggy. And see the little critter showing up in the white bucket right here? This is, here it is. Here's the critter sitting in a white bucket. Just like I just showed you Summer Moon. Let's grab her. That little bucket. Actually, let me show you what it actually is. Where is it? That little bucket. Here's my little, oh, there it is. That little bucket, to show you that I'm dead on, has the same critter face as the fisherman. And it's all the same fisherman. I haven't changed channels. Nothing's different. That critter that's in this bucket here is the one I showed you. It's that. Let me turn it. Let me get the other one. What did I do? Oh, so that is, let me crop it and bring it in, and I'm going to turn it so you could see how it lays that correctly. Okay. So this here, what you see there, represents this. See? It's the same thing. Which at the end of the day, the kids see it as those fun little critters, right? Because that's what they know it from. They don't see it. They don't see their head in a box. They don't know their head, that's their head instead of a Paw Patrol. But this is really what it's saying to you. Is that. That's why they use those things. That's why they use them. And that's summer moons. Now, when I talk about the Idaho 4 and I say the Idaho 4 showed all the same elements, this Madison's 1, 2, 3, 4 photos that she left on public. The other photos went private. Her photos here were extremely significant. Each photo gives a little piece of her story. It always has. But it's never gotten any focus. Like, no one has looked closely to her photos. No one has cared to open them up. Well, I opened them up because this photo of hers is staying consistent throughout each case. That is her photo to the left, right? I just showed you she has 4 photos. That is one of her photos. I'm going to crop these in. That photo is the photo that's right here. Right there. That photo tells her story. And no one's even questioned it. What's to the right is the family that tells the story, what's underground. This stuff here doesn't get questioned. But she will get justice just by me acknowledging this is her story. You can't just look at this stuff and be like, oh, that's normal. It's not normal photo. Here, this is the floating head. That is the sacrifice. The other heads around it are on little platters. This is underground, and this is telling her story, and no one's paying attention. No one. All they have to do is use their little equipment, change the coloring, and look. Watch. each time you change the color, an element appears. That is her stick. That is her stick. Right in the middle. You crop it even smaller. And I'll show you. It's right here. Right there, you guys. That is her stick. And the other sticks, the white sticks with the red hearts, are with her as well. They're in the water. They go in the water, those sticks. I've shown them. See, they're behind her, the maroon, the red with the silver around it. Those are her sticks. And see, those are her hearts in the back. They're white with the maroon red. Those sticks go with each person. Remember I showed you they were in Robert Vaughn's. They're in the back of Tanner's place. However this will wind up lit up is different for each victim. It lights up differently, but it has the same elements. Those little stars will just be in different places, that's all. And the little like symbols and stuff will just change. Wait, let me grab here. I'm gonna change the lighting to show you something. I don't know if I could do it. Sometimes the lighting is very fickle. I want to show you this big white piece that's these pieces right here. Right? I'm grabbing them. These pieces are in my presentation. Now these are Madison's, right? They're right there. See her white stick in there? And then that's the big one. That's called the mesh with the hearts. It's a mesh with the hearts. It's in the water. This stuff's in the water. It's all in there. I have that in my presentation and I'm going to show you. So this was in, I think, Benny's TV. I didn't get to it, but this is what they show in the tunnel at the Laurel Park. I'm going to match that up later. It wasn't really important because I'm sticking with this. So the stuff that you just saw in Madison's photo is what goes in a place like this. It goes in the water, underground. This is where it goes. And this is what it looks like underwater. Photos like this come from Adventures with Purpose. This is the whole entire grouping of a person. This is a grouping of a person. When you're looking at a photo like this, each different frame shows more information. This came from their videos, or maybe it's his video. It was his. Adventures with Purpose has these, the fisherman, and that's it. So I can remember. If you look, this is a person's trophies. There's the, I'm going to cut it, I'm going to mark it out. The number 5 box. As you could see, the critters are kid friendly. This is a face with the box on it. Wait. Here's the number 5. This is what's in the water, all the elements that I talk about. That's the number 5 with the face. Here. Change the color a little. Shoot, it gets weird. If I darken it and then contrast it, this might work good. See the little critters? You've seen these before. This is a child sacrifice. In the water. These are pieces that represent the sacrifice that come from other people's videos. It comes from that lady's video that shows the underground area. This is what happens to the victims. That is representative of what you see here, right? This is no different than what I'm showing you here. This is what I'm doing is I'm tightening it. I'm bringing it all to one location. This little dude is what you're seeing here. They're representative of the sacrifice. I'm tightening it up so it's all coming from one location. This is what's underground. What you are looking at here is the same thing that winds up in the buckets. There's no difference. Wait, I'm going to go get the bucket. I have the buckets in my presentation. Wait. Where you guys, I'm going to find the bucket. And I'm going to show you how this, all of this comes together. Hold your breath. I'm about to scare you with this photo. So this is what's in the buckets. See these white heads with these big eyeballs? That's the same thing that's in these. Those are heads with the eyeballs. It's no different. You guys, I'm showing you stuff that is all connected. All of it is connected. I'm going to change the contrast on these eyeballs here to show you. All of this somehow winds up in the fucking plaster buckets. That is this. They're the same. It's all the same. It's just moving. It winds up in the plaster room. These. All the same. Because this stuff is going to be moving on the water, the things that don't change are the elements that we have been looking at, right? All that's changing is it goes through its own process. Now understand, these kids are sold. And they go through a lot. But this is how they get rid of them. This is a boat. This boat photo and this video tells the story of the children. You have seen this situation before. Look at this photo very closely. I'm gonna brighten it up here. Notice the stuff they don't want your eye to look at. This is on top of the boat. It's right there. Okay? And there's that green thing, right? This here are the victims. See the mask on the head? They're ready to go. These are the victims. Notice the hat on his head. Those hats are left. They're left at the scene. They're put in these videos. When I saw this, it brought me right back to day one. Day one. Do you guys remember this? This was one of the very, very first presentations I had. This here is the Wells property. This was one of my first photos that I told a story over. And I said, these kids go underground. There's fire. There's trucks. Trucks are used. Lots of trucks are used. But the hole in the ground was right there next to the truck. The only reason I was able to compare both of these situations is because they have the same elements. See this? What's on top of Don Wells's truck? Let me grab it. Change the color. It's the same thing. Now, whatever they're trying to tell, it doesn't matter. These puffs are telling a story. And those photos are telling the same kind of sacrifice. This here is showing this is underground. You go down underground, it's metal, and you're going down into a tunnel. This photo always showed it. And I remember saying they use even real little trucks, even though they might be big trucks, just to throw you off. This here, you know what that is? It's like a little Tonka toy. That part of the video of the interviews room's video, they don't show it anymore. Has anyone seen, when you go back to that video, the bucket of toys they're gone? Like, she talks about it, but in the video itself, they take away the toy. They don't show these little toys. They're showing toys like this. Just like this. That's not a big truck. This is the hole in the ground. That's a little toy on there, trying to throw you off. They're trying to throw you off. It's a big ass truck there. The big, huge truck, and they're putting one of, and why is it that it was taken out of the video? I have all the original videos. Candace goes in the bucket. She goes, oh, he likes all these little toys, these little Barbies, and she's playing with little toys and little teeny items. They don't show it. It was taken out. But this stuff, that toy there, is to throw you off. Because this is how they go to the hole in the ground. And it's covered up by a truck. They just put the truck over it. There's metal. It's a gateway. He's showing it to you. So now what's happening to that picture on top of his car? It's turning into what they do with the water. It's all the same thing. See how the pictures change? Look. These kids have a story to tell you guys. And they don't give a rat's ass fucking ass about the people. Because the people have their story told. They just get put in jail and that's it. It's done. Well, the children in spirit world are not satisfied with that. See how this is changing? It's telling their story. This tells the summer moon story, you guys. And I don't know how else to explain it. I can't really, other than tell you what I see. I see little Paw Patrol in the front. I see Summer Moon Wells' head. This is about summer. I see a fucking bitch holding her head. I see someone in the buggy. It tells a story, and it's going to keep changing. And this is how the kids know their story. See, that's the little dog. It's the face. It's like a witch riding her fucking broomstick. And these are the same. What I'm saying is, same situation, same conversation. They're all doing a sacrifice, and they all go underground. They go in the water, they go through bridges, and they just swap shit out. It's like this. It's layered in the water. It gets placed in the water. Remember I said there are 3 layers. These are your 3 layers. This is like a railroad system, you guys. This is a system that was put in place years and years ago. Like I said, the bottom layer, the core that you can't get to, is beneath everything else. It's beneath what I'm talking about. This here is the buggy. So all of these are the 3 layers. That's the person. Wait, let me turn it. Yeah, this is how they're moving, you guys. And that's why you can't see them. See, see this? This is what I showed you in the beginning photo. Where is it? These are the little carts, right? These are the little carts. See how there's different layers? Those little carts are what I showed. Where is it? It's up here. Grandis's thing. Well, those little carts are these. They move, and this is how they move them. There's all different layers, and you can't see it. It's these carts. There's no difference between this and this. This is on the move. See? There's no difference. These are the carts. See that? Let me crop it a little. So anytime I have always said the buggies, the carts, it's got the wheels, that encompasses all of these, including Kylie Rodney's. Wait, I made this smaller. So that is, this is what's moving here. And they're hiding it like that so they could transport it. Until it's transported. So this doesn't change. Ooh, there's the buggy now. Look in the water. Look in the water. Look at that. Wait a minute. We have another buggy coming. All right, let me make this smaller. Okay, wait. Oh my God, you guys. Oh my God. Here we go. I turned it like someone said. Look at that. You guys, this is the sacrifice. This is the Adventures with Purpose part. I'm so good. Look at that. This comes from the fisherman's boat. There's your box with the maroon thing that gets stuck. This is what gets stuck in like the fake Laurel Park in the rocks. Look. This is what is in the rocks. Oh my God. That's the box with the white string. These are your layers. Oh my God. You see the white head in this thing? The head sticking out? Wow. Wow. You guys, this is the maroon, the green, the white. Look. These are the layers. And the layers match the colors. Maroon, green, maroon, white, maroon. Green, maroon, white. This is what we see. This is what we saw in Kylie Rodney, was their number 5s. Wow. Here's the maroon number 5 hanging from the face. Right there, it's hanging from the head. It's got the V around the head. See that? It's all the same shit. And I have no power over what it's showing, you guys. Obviously, I have no power over it. I mean, this is what it's showing you, is what it is. Here, I'm going to change it a little. Look at, oh, I didn't put it on there yet. Look. So I brightened it. There we go. There's your 5 hanging from the face. It's maroon. Right. What's my dog doing? He is acting so strange. This is why Kylie and her boyfriend were by the water. They were by these things. And then they're on the ground here. This here is the bucket. This is being pulled in. This here was on, it comes off of the land. Yeah, he's been really weird today. Like I had to hold him because we didn't know if he was gonna faint or pass out. Like he's like limp. Let's see what else we got here going. So, again, this is Adventures with Purpose. Within their videos in the screen that's supposed to be the screen of their, whatever they call it, underground, this is the stuff it shows, right? So, it shows here. This is what it shows. What I'm showing. It's the head on the top right hand is just like this. Boom. That's all this is. This is this. This here is that head. This is exactly what Adventures of Purpose has in their videos. It's the same thing. Let me crop this. I told you, didn't I say a moment ago, I'm like, this is the Adventures with Purposes part. This is their part. Now, I'm not saying it's them. It's what's in their videos, right? We don't know what they do. We don't know them. So I'm not saying it's them. What I'm saying is this stuff's in their videos. So this is this. And this is a head on the same platform with the heart. I'm going to point this stuff out. So here's the stick, here's the heart with the white around it on the head. Okay, this is the head in the machine. Okay, that's the same thing this has. See? It goes like that. It's the same thing. So that just tells me my story, I said, is getting tighter. Now that head is behind, and what you have in the front basically is the head with the eyeballs that winds up in those boxes, because the critter guy is right there with the head. Let me show you, because I like to follow the critter. The critters are really, because that's what the kids know, the critters. You know, these are childlike minds. They're children. I'm not just telling a story like an adult tells a story. I'm telling the story through the eyes of a child, right? So this here is the victim's head. I don't know what that is back there. It's not the actual victim that's here. This is the victim. This is the victim's head. It's surrounded by the critters, the little puppies and all that. And then notice in here, this is the victim. Right up here, over here, it's the puppy head with the stick. This is the stick. Here's like a Paw Patrol, like these are critters. This is the face, the white face. Okay? It's the stick. These are the little critters. That's supposed to be, remember I'm like, they're not showing the fish, they're showing humans. They take the fish out, but it doesn't look like a fish. To me, they're taking out whatever Adventures with Purpose has and putting it in the water or out of the water. It's whatever they're doing. It goes in and it goes out. It goes down, it goes up. But these are the same elements, just one is made to look like it's with the fishies. But it's really not the fish that we know of. And that's Adventures with Purpose on the right, you guys. And on the left is the fisherman. It's just, like I said, this shit transports. It moves. That's Summer Wells holding one of her little important little pieces of the puzzle. And as you can see to the right, that's not a fish. No fish looks like that. They don't. Again, I'm going back to day one because many people have never, ever, ever, ever seen these. I'm just showing you how my story and my information came together. This is one of the reasons I'm like, I have to stick to elements. What is the element that I'm supposed to stick to? Well, when I was looking at this stuff, what I selected, it was like the color. Maroon, the green, the white was always a big deal, and these things were always layered. The photos were always layered even from the beginning. What I realized was each layer was completely different story. It wasn't like I was delayering a photo. I wasn't doing that. It was different. And that's when I was like, there's different information in each one of these corners of the video. It's like not even the same story. So it was really like, what am I supposed to pay attention to? And I spent a lot of my time listening and just doing and listening and saying things that I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. Like, people would be like, I don't understand how did you think of doing that? I didn't think of doing that. I was directed to do it. The picture on the right-hand side, for instance, if you go slowly to it, you have your Summer Moon Wells with the mask on. You already have a child that's being abused. Look at her face. The bottom part, they really messed it up because the child probably has no clothes on. I'm not going to show you a layer like that. But this is summer moon. And photos like this show. I don't care if it's on the top layer, not in the middle layer. It's a clear photo of something that shouldn't be here, right? So if I did that to all these different squares and I went to the top layer, I was receiving the same kind of information. These kids' faces are covered. They have masks on their faces. Let me show you. So no matter where I moved it, okay, let's move it over here. These kids were hurting each other. They were connected to equipment. And the story is actually Summer Moonwell's story. This is part of the horrific equipment these children are put in. You guys, this is right there in front of you. This is Summer Moonwell's backyard pool. Understand that this is only coming from the photo right here, right there. Didn't do anything. It's right here. The other squares are even worse. Look on this child's head. That's the equipment that goes through the head and through the eye. This is what you see on Summer Moonwell's head. Did you guys see the equipment that's going through his head? Look at the makeup. This is all Candace did. Thank you, Rumpel. And no matter which square I choose to select, that's what it's showing. I believe that this is that piece of equipment that's shaped like this. It looks like this. That these are the same thing. That's the equipment that needs to transfer in different locations. See? See on the bottom? Right here, wait. I call them critters. What's attached to this thing are the critters. That's how I know. Those are all the little pieces that show up. Thank you, Crystal. Thank you, Muffin. See the number 5? It's like a mini setup. There's a finger that's pointing to it. This is like a mini setup. And to me, this is all the same shit. It just gets transferred. Like what you see to the left is doing the same thing as the equipment to the right. It's the same piece of equipment. It gets transferred. It moves. This equipment is what moves. This is the equipment that I've been showing you. It's the same thing. When I showed you this earlier, there it is. The head in the middle. And this is Kylie, which I had to bring up before. It's not Kylie. I don't know who that is. It's like a male. Looks like a boy. And to the right is basically, it's the head. I keep saying it, but it represents that. That's Adventures with Purpose to the right. It represents the same thing that's to your left. And this here I want to show you I'm showing you how the different creators give me incredible information. And sometimes, you know, Molly Golightly's very last videos gave the most information. And here you can see it's just so clear what goes around the neck. Ziggy's shows tons of information because every time she's moving, she moves around like she's got ants in her pants. But the guy to the right, this is the kind of information that I know is part of the story. You know, like that is Molly, and that is from one of the Beast and Munch pictures. When I see photos like this, they're showing the same element. It's the white mesh stuff with the hearts on it. It's very sacred. But they're showing the same information. I brought this one up because of the knife in the middle of them. At first I kind of see like a pole, but then I see a knife. And her face here looks like the faces that we've been looking at. Like that face there looks like, let me grab this. Wait. I put this here because I've kind of narrowed down what these faces look like. Obviously we don't know who it is. She looks like that. She looks like this girl. Don't you guys agree? She looks the closest to this person. I don't know who this is. I know that's Robin, but I don't know who that is. Doesn't matter who it is, but they look similar, whatever that means. And there's the knife up top in the middle of them. here's a machine that I just said to you moves. So this machine holds the head, and what I am now saying is that machine, see how we're tightening this up, is this. That machine is this. It's this. Ethan Chapman is in this. That's what I'm saying. All the pieces are on here. They're all on here. It's like a mini model. It's a mini model. See, these are all the same. This really hit me. These are pictures from the fisherman's video. Does this look familiar to anyone? This is basically Summer Moon Wells's swimming in the swimming hole. These heads bobbing, and these are heads. These are not ducks. They're not whatever you think they are. That is this. For those that weren't around, this here is June 15th, marked June 15th, 2021, as a water hole. These kids at the water hole, whoever they are, have masks on their heads. This is the first time that I saw those ski masks. These are the masks that go on the head. That is the same mask that's on this kid's head in the Wells's backyard. Right there. I just showed you this. These masks stay with them. Look at this picture. These are the ski masks that are the same. This is the same information as the fisherman is showing in the water. Let me grab this a little, because I never know how you guys could see things big or small. But here's a nice close look. That's the ski mask that they have in Candace's water hole video. See? All of them are like that. June 15th. It's the same thing that is in the fisherman's video. There's no difference. Their heads bobbing. Which brings me right back to this, which I showed in the beginning. There's no waterfall. That waterfall is fake. When I had my very first moving vision, now that I'm looking at this, that's so funny. These were the trucks. So here's a new channeling. So in the beginning, when I started this, I had a very scary thing happen to me because it was the first time it happened. I got too close into the photo, and I didn't even know people could do this. Like when I hear people that say they do this, I'm like, oh, fuck off. Oh, okay. Okay. Well, you could do it because it happened to me. I was looking, now that I look at these, it was these trucks. It was trucks like just like this. Wait, they were moving in the other direction though. They were moving from left to right. I'm giving you exactly the information because one day maybe I'll prove to be true, and the only ones who know are the guilty party. So the guilty party will know if I'm telling the story correctly. I'm telling you the story from the eyes of the children. These trucks were on the Wells property, so what this is telling me, because this is, when I first saw these trucks, they were moving from left to right, out of the trees, but they were coming out of a tunnel. They were dark black, real big. They moved in almost sundown, but it wasn't sundown and it wasn't a full moon yet or anything. These trucks were moving across the back of his property by a tree that had like a fake tree by it. And Summer went to go run. I'm going back to it now. Went to run. Couldn't get out. And under the tree, she started burning. This child's body started burning from the hands first, because as I was in my kitchen, my hands were on fire. And as it moved up my arms, I was screaming for my daughter to take my jewelry off because it was burning me. I was grabbing it. I was in a trance. And the heat was moving up my arms, and as it was getting closer to my chest area, like up my arms to my shoulders, that's when I had her call my guru and get me out of it, because I couldn't breathe at that point. And she got him on the phone, and he's like, close your eyes. I'm throwing water on you right now. I'm cooling you off. There's all the water on you, and the fire's going out. So he worked it off of me. But what that told me, and I fell off my chair. No, I didn't fall off my chair. I went to get out of the chair and it was done, and the chair actually stuck to me and fell off of me. It was stuck to me because of the energy. But my feet were tied, and I couldn't move my feet. But the fire was going from my hands up and down. And the reason I'm telling this story is because this was the truck I saw. Because they had those flying things over the top. So maybe it's a helicopter. It had those things on the top. Could be a helicopter, I don't know, but it was able to move on land. So this is telling me there's no water here. Whatever they're doing, the water is fake. It's fake. But these are the bodies that are not fake. They're going into a tunnel. That is supposed to be Candace Bly in her video. To the right is Kaylee Anthony. It's so crazy that you could see what happened to these children if you just look. The picture to the left is Summer Moon from the car ride. That's what spiritually happened to her. That's Summer Moon. Fake car ride with the stars above her. And that summer moon to the right. But that's her in the car with the fake jacket on. It's just telling her story, you guys. It's Summer Moon's story. See how she's not alone? Not alone. I had to show you this. I mean, this is Ziggy. This video was such a joke. This was such a joke. It was so fake. But it tells the summer story. You understand, it tells the Summer Moon story. This matches the Idaho 4. This matches the person who was telling the story in the Idaho 4. It matches the Idaho 4 story. I cannot tell it any clearer or any louder. It's the same. He might as well be the same person telling the story. The information here, see the stick across the top? It's telling the story just like this photo's telling the story. Pick your poison. That's Fred Hill telling the story of the sacrifices. I believe that this was summer. This is a Summer Moon Wells child on the boat. I've been following her little stories, and look at the face. She has the mask on her face, and it's not covered up. This is the fisherman. No matter how you want to see this, this child has a mask on her face. Even when I brighten it up, so believe my stories or not, this is real. That's the white mesh on the eye. They hold that stuff on the eye. Parents that lost their children, like I see that mesh in the a couple of the Idaho 4 parents' hands. I've the Watts. She always carried hers. They're the critters. See how they know the critters? See the critters coming out of the eye. This child has a major mask on. She has equipment on her body. Now, I mean, if I were the police, I would want to find out who did this, and stop it from happening again. Because if you believe my story or not, look at her neck. She has the fake skin on her neck, tied around her neck. And that is the equipment. And it should be stopped. That's the child's face beneath the other face. Like I said, there's 3 layers to these stories. So this is what's behind motor number 2, I'll call it. Motor number 2 shows the heads. So this is what it shows. That it's in the water, connected to the bottom of the boat. By the motor. This here up top on the right hand side is exactly what Ethan Chapman looked like on the boat. It's like this person is being used as fishing bait. Now again, this is way into whenever they take them. Other shit happens before they get to this position. But look at this. You tell me what you see. I don't know. Molly Golightly probably has had a lot to say. Maybe that's why she's not around anymore. But her last particular amount of videos maybe just told a little bit too much information and she got in trouble. Because either it's one or the other. Either she's a whistleblower or she's not. Molly's photos tell and show the complete story. Anywhere I go, it's the same. Her head is in that contraction. Understand this isn't Molly. They're never the Molly that you know of. So either she was a whistleblower or she wasn't. Like, it's either they used her, now she's gone, and you'll never know the Molly. We'll never know who she, unless, maybe. But there's the mesh with the heart on her head. There's the number 5 on her cheek to the left-hand side, next to like what almost looks like a toothpick. But all the kids have those sticks hanging out of their mouth. So either she did it for good or she did it for evil, right? So these are the boxes, and some of them, like I said, go to these blood banks or these blood harvesting places. They show it. It's just the same thing traveling over and over. That is the fake cement shit. I'm just showing you heads on platters, basically. And then for those who've never seen this, because Candace took all of her stuff down, I just thought it'd be nice to put something like this out, because not everyone has photos. These were on her Facebook page. Not the one to the right. The one to the right is a face they just wanted to show. Because Candace's photos that she showed, she didn't think probably that there'd be anyone like me that's going to go into the smallest of the smallest photos that are flying around her Facebook and look at them. This here is just one of them. Here it comes. This dude's holding the heart on his head. These are probably victims. So if the authorities really want to take a look at this shit that was up on her Facebook, I would. Because they're not normal photos. They're bloody photos with elements on them. And just to let you know, it's in her yearly look back on the year photo. Each one of these photos tell the story of the victim. So here's the little girl. She has this kind of equipment around her neck. And her pajamas have lots of symbols on there that represent the stories. You know, and I just wanted to put that guy's face out on the right-hand corner. I don't know who these people are. Sorry if it's nothing, but you're in photos with the children that are with Grandis and Summer. So I wanted to put this out there because not everyone has the old photos. The only reason I'm putting it out there actually is because there's one of the kids in the bed with the doll, and you're there, and then you're there in the backyard with Grandis, Summer, and all these kids with different color hair. And this is the same person. It's the same person. The photo to the right, you guys, is Grandis in the backyard with Summer and all these kids for a birthday. And they all had pink or blue hair. So these are the kind of photos that I just put to the side. Like, obviously I had one at a time. And then as the elements start to make more sense, that's when I start to take the photos that I haven't looked at in a while and examine them to see if the elements or the machinery is on these kids. You see? You see that? That's a problem, right? Do you guys see anything there? And he's sitting in the same chair over mud, the same kind of chair that Michael Vaughn had. There's something underneath it sticking in the mud. It's in the mud. He's not sitting out of the mud. That little V thing is in the mud. Look. And he's got something on his hand and on the child's leg. So this is why I put stuff to the side. Because you never know. Right? It's a face that popped up in the middle of the Beast and Bunch video. I wanted to show you guys this boy's face that came through the fake Madeline. It looks really familiar to me. That's in between her face. Her two faces. Yeah, he looks very familiar to me. That's Jose. And the person in the middle is the one who had all those kids in his house. I don't know who he is. Jose has all the shit attached to him. I couldn't wait to find this one. I was looking for this. Candace did a selfie with this truck and the blankets. I think that I'm putting this out there because I personally think the authorities should take a close look at these photos. That's about it. Here's Summer in different circumstances that allegedly, who I believe to be Summer. These are photos that she already has her mask on her face. The one to the right, you need to look at this side of her face, not this. Not there. That's the green face and the A on her arm. She's branded. The one all the way to the left is what I got from Robin Lane's videos. These children, these Summer Moon Wells children, are already in a bad situation. These were taken in advance before we even knew about Summer. These are years of doing this. They're years of doing this, you guys. All these photos and all these pictures aren't all of the Summer you know. It's common sense that they're all Summer Moon Wells missing children. She can't be in all these photos. It's impossible. Whoops, cancel. Here. All of them, she has the mask on that I showed you. And there's no new, I don't have any new places I get these photos. Meaning I get them all from the same creators I have from the beginning. That's the church. That's what's on her hand, on her arm at the church. That's what it looks like. To the left, it's not a very good picture, but those were the kids that I showed were in these cages who happened to also be branded. That was the purpose of me putting it out there. But that's Summer to the right. You guys, this is another piece of Maddie's photos that she left. She left on her Facebook for us to see for a reason. What's on her body is stitching of fake skin. Now, I call it fake skin. I don't know, maybe it's real skin. I call it fake skin. I told you that part of what I see is that they get skinned, right? Thin, very, very thin slices. So thin with the finest of the finest knife. This here on Maddie, and the police could get this because it's not covered up nor deep faked, shows it. And it's in the form, it takes the form of a face. But that is the fake skin. It's there and it's under her arm. It's not the bathing suit, it's not the shirt. So if in fact an authority sees this is real, and that is Maddie, one of the Idaho 4. One of the Idaho 4 is showing elements. Her whole entire 6 photos gives a lot of information. Let me show you what's on the floor. So if I brighten it up really weird looking, but I don't want to get so technical to what's back here, would be that, see how that's fake, would be the clear strip with the red in it with the A on the floor. But with her box, that's what's behind her. But that's what the authorities would need to get in here. And first of all, they would have to accept the fact that these are real elements, because she has them in here, right? Let me see if I could I could redo it this way. Okay. Here. So she has back here her box and the sticks. That's her stick back there with the red heart in the middle with the metal. That's fake skin under her arm and on her hip. There's a lot going on there. This is the other guy. I'm putting him in here because he shows everything upstairs. And I'm going to keep showing the face. So I brought this in before. Those are the little buggies moving up, coming out from probably up somewhere on the ground on the Wells property. It's showing it. I feel like they are moving stuff out. Things are coming up to the top and then going down. That's how I see it. They go down. Just like that, this. So when you look at this picture, which comes from that lady that I follow with her family, this photo with the buggy there's the person in the buggy. It's just like this one. There's the buggy here. So it's the same situation. See the buggy? It's like a ride right there. And then on the right is the same thing. I'll crop it. Let me crop it in. I'll shut it in for a little, just to show you the buggy. Okay, here it is. So this is the lady that I'm consistently following with her family, right? That's my dog. Hi, little boy. Hi. Hi. Oh. So here's the same buggy as I keep showing you. That looks like a person. So this is the buggy here. That looks like someone sticking like out of the sand, right? Right here. Here, right here. This is the head, this is the arm, the body. This is this buggy. This is what the victims go in and they move up and down, different levels. There are 3 levels, you guys. So they have different layers, right? But they're created right above each other and they move systematically. It's a system. It's organized. See how she's attached? How interesting is that? It's so interesting how it all lines up. I mean, she's sitting in the same grass. Look at this. As my number 1 photo. As Summer is sitting in the grass. Idaho 4. They don't want to look at these photos. These kids are underground. Their heads are sticking out of the ground. Period. They're right there underground. They have shown it since day 1. They show it at the party. These children, these students were sacrificed the same way as all of these cases. This is what they showed you guys in their party. These are their videos. This comes straight from their food truck. Does that look like a food truck? No. No. That is no different than these heads here. Here. And here. Same thing. This is Benny. It's not Benny, like I said. His videos give me insane, incredible information. Behind this person's head is maroon, the green, the maroon, the white boxes. That is exactly the shape of the 5 that I look for. It's unique and it's different, but that's what it looks like. To the left, to me, it shows how these boxes get placed in walls and hidden where you cannot find them. That they're super hard to find. Summer Moon Wells' box had that same metal, but it does have the same maroon, the white, the green layers. Everything is color coordinated. Right there is what it would look like. The person on the right, I'm putting it in because I don't know who that is, and it's in one of the important videos that I have. These are the fishermen coming off the fish. The fish. Hey, you can tell I'm losing it. I'm going so slow. Coming off the boat. But what you see here isn't just the fish, right? That's that part of the equipment that I said is slanted. Let me see. Let me grab it. It was in Summer Wells's photo. Where was it? Looking. It was the slanted piece. I'm like, that's... And I was going to show you what that was used for. It's used for this. Right? It's a part of the buggy. Oh, shoot. That's okay. So this is part... Let me change the lighting. I showed you this earlier in one of the... It's attached to the buggy. I'm like, that is used later. This. That's the person. Ooh, I really want to find it. Wait. No, because I've cropped so many photos that I can't see it. Anyways, this is the slanted part. That's what this is used for. This is a photo that I pulled you guys in with. This is stuff that just gets placed on their face. I don't know why it's on what's-his-face's face on the right-hand side, but we don't know who that is. It's a victim, and that to me is Summer Moon Wells on the left. These are real photos, and those are two kids with the same things. Those kids have the same stuff on their face. Again, I get it all from the same channel. It's all of those come from one channel. Because what I'm doing is I am tightening up my story. This here isn't normal. It's not. So these are just, you know, situations that are part of their process, these kids' process. And I'm fairly certain once this shit here clears up, it will tell a significant part of their story. But whatever is behind this needs to show itself. That's all I know, because to me this looks like chicken nuggets, and I know it's not. But what I was told is this is significant to pull to the side and wait. So this is how My People channel. I have no fucking idea what's in here. To me, it's a piece of food, but it's going to shift for us so we could see and give justice to the people. That's all I know. I do see the faces coming through. I see my smiley face coming through. Right there. Oh. Oh, wow. You guys, this is going to be really fucking cool. Look. You guys see that little face? I'm going to change the lighting a little. Yeah, this has I believe that this would change, that this whole thing would change. Paste it again. I just pasted it again because sometimes it changes. What do you guys see? I see a gooky thing. I see faces. It's pretty gooky. See right there? That got shiny. This is so crazy. Should I turn it upside down? Oh my God. Yeah. So I turned it upside down. No. Oh, there's the 5. Let me make sure the 5 is correct. Go this way. Which way? This way. I think it's the right way. Do you guys think it's the right way? I'm watching with you. It's interesting to see the 5 show up and the little green face inside that thing. Well, we know they're not chicken nuggets anymore, right? It's let's keep that going while I'm going to keep that up there while I show you a few other things about the Idaho 4. This also was in front of their house. This was in front of the house on Kings Road. I don't know what video I got this from, but to me those are the boxes. And oh, here's the 5. You guys, this is the 5. That's the 5 that I like to follow. That is the exact 5 that's up here. See that shape of that 5? This just gives me an opportunity to show you something. This one from Benny's. Here. See, there's certain 5s, but they have to be the same. See? See how they're the same? So I don't just say, oh, there's a 5. There's another 5. Yeah, I'm going to let this keep going while I show you a couple more things. When you're looking at videos, really pay attention to each screen. The Idaho 4's screens, they just don't stay consistent. It depends on who's telling the story. Let me see if I cropped this. Oh shoot, I did. During the story of someone covering from one of these channels, Brian Kohlberger's apartment, they take a picture of the door. You guys, seriously? Like, these are elements of the case. We know that that's not a door. Like, no one's door looks like that. Plus, then they go over to his windows. And every time you guys are showing the window information changes. It's the same window. You show it this way, and then you show it this way. These are the same windows. Different information. But yet this tells the story of the Idaho 4. This is really dumb. Brian Kohlberger's window shows the elements. I'm sorry. This is his door. Why would they do this? Why would they do this to his door? Oh, the face is coming better now. Come the faces. Let me grab just the face there. This girl has black hair. So here I could point out so far this is a face right there. We have one to the left as well. So my job here is to recognize faces, right? So justice comes. There are faces in here, in the white, like the white will show. It's not like I'm looking at something that just, like a cloud. There's an image in here that's going to come out, like this one. Wow. It's like I want to keep going, but I don't. Like I want it to show everything it wants to show. Well, while it's doing that, I'm going to show you. Let's see. I think what I'll do is just keep the rest of it because this is don't say this is going to be my last slide. This is the last slide of the night. It has my attention. I'm not looking around. So I hope that my intentions were understood for tonight's live, was to give you guys another little insight to why and who I am and why I'm here and what I'm doing. The answer is I have no freaking idea. Just kidding. I gave that at the beginning of the video. And that in order to bring justice to these kids and help find the missing children, their story needs to be shared. And I shared here to the best of my ability to how I understand it, which I understand it through spirit. And it's for the victims. It's for the victims, because a lot of their story, if not all their story, is unheard. No one knows about it. So that's the goal here for anyone that's new. This picture's pretty cool. So, you guys, thank you very, very much for being here tonight. And thumbs up on your way out would be amazing. And please subscribe if you haven't. It's a great way to support the channel. This is going to keep moving. Wow. Wow. All right, guys. I'll have to post this photo as a separate photo. All right. Good night. Thank you. Thank you, Muffin Top, and all my subscribers. You guys are awesome. Go have a wonderful night, and we will talk real soon. Good night, guys.